Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at my gear. I believe this was requested on YouTube to have a look at my gear, my skills, stuff like that. So we're just going to go through why I've got wear this, leadership, that sort of thing, and why I use what certain skills I use while playing dual blade. So kind of just an in-depth sort of look at what I'm running. So let's take a look. So first off, we'll look at the skills. We will move that out the way. Right there. Lovely. So first off, we have got bow shuriken. Bow shuriken is kind of the staple now for dual blades. Yeah, it's kind of your way into stealth. I think it outweighs you get more value than you do out of Infiltrator personally, and we're going to probably add a little bit of thing to this personally. I'd love Infiltrator to have a longer uptime for the trade-off of 39 seconds. It's just, you know, if you miss that kick or if you miss that ambush or whatever you're trying to do with it, just doesn't seem worth it that once that 30 seconds is over, you now got 39 seconds to wait until you can go stealth again, unless you're wearing the epic schematic set, and then of course, if you kill someone, you can get 30 seconds off of it. But I'd like to see something changed with Infiltrator to make it more viable to use. Be it that, personally, I think the cooldown should count down while you're in stealth. So then technically it only has a 9-second cooldown, because the value is so small compared to taking bow shuriken that puts you in stealth, so you get to still use your stealth abilities. You get 50% slow, you get to poison people for 3 seconds, and it does decent damage on a low cooldown. So that's why we go for bow shuriken starting off. Moving on, we've got chemical vapors. This is a mandatory, it's your only way to get up from a knockdown. Puts you in stealth, but you want to be using this defensively, and I've actually buffed this with some of my armor. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll get into why this is super important. But yes, mandatory for dual blades. Then we got butterfly. Now this is arguably one of the only things you can change. I did run Skylark for a bit that I enjoyed, but it does have some kind of fatal flaws to it. If you can get some from behind, that little dash and the bleed works really nicely to kill people, but people kind of got used to it. I liked it because heroes couldn't block it. So, but people got used to it, and I'm finding that butterfly is better now. But arguably you could change that out for Great Thunderbolt. Great Thunderbolt just had a buff. I find Great Thunderbolt to be quite clunky sometimes, but if you're playing with in a pack of people with units and stuff, it can be quite useful, because if you can time it with, let's say, a musket's grenade, you throw this first and then they throw their grenade's going to do 30% more damage because you're debuffing all of everything this hits. So potentially that could be really good, but I find it quite clunky, so I stick with butterfly for this. Yeah, but you between these three abilities, you could go for any of these three, to be honest. But yeah, personal preference is butterfly. And then again, basically mandatory, well, definitely mandatory, is marked for death. I mean, there's probably no need to really describe why you need this. It's your one way to lock people down properly. I'm a bit my mind's in two ways about chokes, like the poleaxe choke, the dual blade choke, and the chain dart choke. I'm not really sure choke should be in the game. It probably should be a stun that is recoverable, potentially, but there is a lot of recovery in this game, so something like an Adachi that can recover from everything would never get stopped by a dual blade. So it's an interesting topic, but as it stands, I'm going to benefit from it because, yeah, I play dual blade. So mark for death, mandatory. So that is our skills and our talents and what we go for here. Let's take a look at my armor, and I do something weird with my armor. So armor wise, well, we'll start with attributes. Actually, attributes, full strength is what I go for. When we have blue tier lock, I go agility. I go agility because At that point in time, we're running really low on slashing penetration. So, and there's a lot of heavy armors around. We all know how many heavy armors there are, so it helps a little bit. But yeah, it's rough. Those first two tier locks are pretty rough for dual blades until we start getting our weapon perks and weapon crafted bonuses. So here are my stats: 1600 slashing. That's okay. I would like that to be slightly higher. And then 1986. Well, 1900 slashing penetration. So not too bad. And then my defense is actually pretty good for a light armor, to be honest. And that comes down to what I'm wearing. So into the big one here. We're going to move this over here. So first off, weapon, we are looking at... it's okay, it's not god tier. I'm still... if you've caught one of my streams, every time I get an epic schematic, I'm attempting to get myself a god tier weapon. At the moment, the slashing damage is pretty good. The max slashing damage on an Ever Patient is about 313, I believe it is, or something like that. So we're not too far off the slashing damage, but slashing pen is 500 max on these, 530, I believe, or something like that. So we still got a way to go with that, but as it stands, it's okay. It works. Then we've got a legendary rogue helmet, that 666 health, blunt penetration that's useless for us, some blunt damage that's useless for us, 27 blunt defense. These are all the crafted bonuses I got, and then 24 leadership. So nice amount of leadership, and that's been good. And then we've got another legendary rogue braces. We got 17 blunt defense, 25 blunt damage, 17 blunt damage, again pointless for us really, apart from the kick. Then we got 25 blunt defense, and then 21 critical value, that's pretty good, and then 22 leadership. So could be slightly better. We're going to probably work on these on stream at some point, see if we can get these up to 20, 24, 25 leadership, and then try and get them to go to legendary past that point. But as you can see, the elephant in the room is I'm not wearing the 4-set bonus. Now, the thing is, with the 4-set bonus, the critical value is nice, but there is something more valuable that I'm after. And but I still want that penetration. So that 250 armor pen. Really nice. We need it. But for my second piece, I go for the epic schematic set, Reforged. So on this first bit, we got the skirmisher's tunic. Now this obviously gives us thing, but the unique thing about epic schematic sets is they give you a base piercing, slashing, and blunt penetration. So as you can see, it says 25, 25, 25. Now this is great because between these two bits of gear, we get an extra, 50, and then whatever bonuses we get on top. That's really nice. On this one, we got another 20% piercing damage. We got some slashing defense 21, and we got some critical resistance 12. And luckily, we got 20 leadership. So this takes us up to 766 leadership. That's passable. When I wear my full rogue set, we have like 790 something. But this is, I can't get by without using this now because I got so used to being able to do something with this set. And then on this one, we've got 7 extra piercing penetration and 6 extra blunt penetration, 15 extra slashing damage, and increased critical value by 25. That's max. That's pretty nice. But I still would take leadership. Now, the reason why we go for this, it's not because of the slashing, that extra slashing pen or anything like that, because it's nice. It's a bonus, but that's not the reason. The reason is the 2-set bonus, and this is what I was talking about with the chemical vapors. Chemical vapors and infiltrator grant invincibility for 0.4 seconds. Now, what is so good about this is if you time it properly, you can avoid other people's ults, chain darts, Maul when they come in with a Forge of War, you can time it right, avoid that entire amount of damage. A few weapons in this game have this. You've got like short bow, they have rolling escape. This has a 0.8 invincibility, and chain dart have it on their leap back. Don't know what it's called. and then longbow have it as well, and muskets have it. So this just gives you an extra bit of viability, because normally if a chain dart grabs you, or another dual blade grabs you, or a poleaxe grabs you with their ult, you would normally die. But if you can see it coming and you know it's on its way, you have a very tiny window where you can use this bank, and suddenly you don't get stopped. So super strong. Granted, the 4-set bonus is nice, but it's not the end of the world. This is far nicer to have the 2-set. So yeah, that's the reasons why I run that. And yeah, it's pretty game changing for dual blade in terms of once you get used to it. It takes a little time to get used to and figure out when to use it, but it has saved me so many times. So yeah, and that's it. That is my armor and my my abilities. So yeah, I hope that's helped, and I hope that's tickled the itch of wanting to see it. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.